What is up? Welcome. Episode 4 of the Shirts and Skins podcast. I am Matt Lamb alongside...
You're wearing a shirt.
Wearing a shirt.
Well,
already broke
kind of talked about it a little bit.
But I'll let it slide. That's fine. I'm just saying.
This is a Wu-Tang shirt, by the way.
Little shirt.
I am Matt Lamb, sitting alongside Mark Moss and Brandon Minert. Got a lot to talk about today, boys. I hope you're excited.
Do we?
We got a lot to talk about. Before we get into it, we are on YouTube. Check us out there. Subscribe. Ring that bell, as they say.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. And also anywhere else you get podcasts, we are available. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check us out there. Give us a rating. Leave us a comment. Tell us how good we are or how bad we suck.
I got another comment. Did we get any comments? I got one.
Let's hear it.
Almost becoming a friend of the show. I don't know how you officially become a friend of the show, but a couple comments, 2 out of 3, not bad. So I got this one from my brother, Gay Brian.
Your brother's becoming a friend of the show.
He wanted to be called that. So.
Okay. Always our friend, Brian.
It actually, I read it, sounded more like a newspaper headline to me, but that's what he had to say. He talked to it, listen to the pod, whatever. And then he says, after that dismantling by Washington, they looked like a team whose best bowl option might be the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, playing Kent State, who just got blown out by our next opponent, UCF.
Oh, he wrapped that up.
Oh, yeah.
He wrapped that all the way up.
So, yeah, full circle there.
Do we need to play the season then? Do we need to play any games?
Yeah, I think we're famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kent State.
Maybe we could beat them.
Anyways, we did get it. We did
a
comment.
Is that still the name? Is that still the name?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We do everything not to play in that bowl. I mean, Boise State has deserved to be in that bowl a few times, and we do everything to move out of that spot. So I don't think we're playing the Idaho Potato Bowl. But that's just a sampling of some of the criticisms out there, right? But
there's a lot.
Yeah.
And we can talk about them. Boise State coming off there's a fly in here, a 56-19 loss. Dismantling. A lot of words you could use to describe that at the hand of University of Washington. Initial thoughts. What did we see? What did you guys feelings?
Well, okay, so we did our predictions last week.
You were the closest.
I was
Mark.
the closest.
Yeah.
I think I said 52-27.
27.
And sometimes I find myself being the pessimist. I honestly thought what they did to offensively to our defense was not a surprise. If you actually kind of looked at the personnel, looked who they had coming back.
Brandon's going to get this.
I know.
fly.
I'm sorry.
Get that fly.
I'm sorry.
We should have gotten the fly
when it
before.
lands, yep.
I don't think anyone, if you actually kind of did a half an hour research before the game, I don't think that was a shock. You hope that doesn't happen, but it wasn't a shock. NFL receiver, NFL quarterback, they protect him really well last year, and that's what happened. And then you combine that with new DBs, walk-on guys starting at safety for us. It's not a surprise that happened. So I think we should talk about the defense. But what was more of a surprise was, I don't know, 19 points, not great. Ultimately, we had 400 yards of offense.
Yeah.
So a mixed bag there.
402.
But it was just, there's nothing you can, 56, what was it, 19?
56-19.
It just, that screams out on the paper.
Can I say something about the first
It looked
drive?
great. Oh,
well, kickoff wasn't great, but they're at the 50-yard line.
We stuffed them.
And we hold them. And it's like, dude, our defense looking stout.
Yeah.
Looking solid.
Yeah.
And then we move the ball.
First 2 drives. Yeah.
We miss an extra point.
Yeah.
But you looked at it, and my initial impression was, our defense is hanging.
Yep.
You know, we had a couple of those. We blew up the bubble screen. You know?
That was awesome.
A couple of those.
Clark, a couple of those. Yep. I read they had 7 passes that were behind the line of scrimmage, and they got 7 yards total. So they just
had to throw it past the line.
So that's where they had some issues. But at the line, whether it was running or the bubbles, whatever you call those bubbles, was awesome. But and then they saw about as far as then they saw something.
I mean, did you guys feel that same way, that it was like they were talking, and then they're like, okay, we got to go for this, and then it was long bomb after long bomb after.
I credit their coaching staff. I mean, and I sometimes good coaches, and sometimes it drives me nuts when our coaches, something's working and you get away from it. Like, they found what our weakness was and they just exploited it. And credit to them. We couldn't stop it.
Yeah, it was like a moving target at first. They were
like trying a few things.
It was on Tubner.
Yeah.
And then it was
and
on
then Caniho,
and then Clark, and then it was just
yeah.
I mean, what's your assessment of the game, though, Matt? What's your reaction?
You know, I think we've talked about expectations a lot and where we're at now as a program. We used to expect to win these games, right? And so my overall assessment of the game was we're just, we're not where we used to be, obviously. We've played, 3 of these opening season big games so far and haven't won one of them under Avalos. And so I think setting that expectation of, okay, we're going to use it as a learning opportunity rather than a chance to come out.
Oh, I hate that.
I hate it too.
I hate that so.
But that's what it is every year.
What did you guys think about? I'm assuming you guys heard Avalos's.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I mean, I compare and contrast that with some of the other coaches that lost big over the weekend.
Oh, what did they say?
Oh, just like Brian Kelly last night.
Yeah.
LSU lost big, embarrassing fashion. And I wouldn't say threw his team on. I mean, people are saying that, but he was really hard on himself, the coaching staff, and the players, just saying we weren't, we thought we were something. We thought we were way better. But he just came down harder. And Avalos, and I don't know if this goes back to kind of what my potential concerns are with him as a head coach, is that his team loves him. He's a player's coach, I guess. But I don't know. And maybe that's, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But he was his first opening statement was, we have an amazing team. We have an unbelievable team. And he was just so positive.
Where were they?
And it's like, what's wrong with just saying we laid an egg. We played really well.
Yeah.
Or we played really poorly. We could have done a lot better. Yeah. They were better than us. What's so wrong with saying that?
It was a lot of, we're a better team that was that fly again. We were a better team than what showed up, and we'll learn from this and move on. And I think
how many times are we going to hear that?
Yeah, look at the positive stuff. That's great. But there wasn't a lot of.
Where's the fire? Where's the?
Oh, dude,
I don't know.
It does frustrate me.
What do you think?
No, I
Brandon?
think a ton of things because I get so. Let's see. I'm trying to, where do we start, right? But it's starting to bug me that Avalos' demeanor during the game is just arms crossed, staring at the field. And, my son's had 2 basketball coaches, and he's not great. He's a good basketball player and everything. But the first basketball coach he had for a few seasons just kind of sat on the bench and stared. And that was all we knew. And then the next basketball coach he had was so great. And he's up and down the court. He's yelling and screaming. He's getting in. He's getting a lot from the kids.
Yeah.
And I get frustrated. And I'm not saying that's the best way to coach. I'm just saying, look, as in the court of public opinion, when somebody makes a bad play on TV or whatever, and you're not over there getting after their defense or getting after the safeties or getting after somebody.
I've never seen him get after anybody.
Anybody. And it's
Ever.
like, hey, look, there's a huge hole in the secondary. So if you're not grabbing guys and saying, look, don't let them behind you. Don't let them behind you. If you're not over there, that's kind of like saying, hey, you're not a good CEO because you're just saying, I'll let the defensive coaches figure it out. No, dude, get over there and say, this is the main problem. Solve that. And if you don't solve that, you will feel my wrath in a way. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Just staring, just talking, like whispering into the headset? What's going on? Like, what's happening?
Again, we're not in the room. I don't, but it's
okay,
but no one's scared of, like,
no, not
there
at
needs
all.
to be like a little fear. It's like it's like a parent, right? There has to be a healthy bit of fear. Not that you're going to physically abuse anybody, but there's got to be a little bit.
No, you don't have to.
No one's scared of Avalos on that team.
No, that frustrates me. Okay, because he may be behind closed door yelling and screaming,
Maybe
but I don't think he is. And there was a huge problem that was happening on Saturday that everybody could see. Right? I mean,
everybody.
And I disagree. Like, Mark, do you think that's a coaching thing or a player thing?
I think it's both.
Okay, so for me, I think what happened was strictly a coaching thing. And let me tell you why, okay? When they're gashing you for 30-plus yard plays, that's a coaching thing. That means, hey, look, we need to change this up and back these guys up, because if you were to take Tubner and say, hey, this is a 60-yard run, okay, you have a 20-yard head start over this wide receiver, run to the end zone, Tubner's going to beat that wide receiver.
He should.
If he just turns around and runs to the end zone, right? And so it's not like it's me versus like my 6-year-old son racing. It's like these are fast guys, right? Obviously not fast enough to stay one-on-one, but if I'm the secondary coach, I'm saying, look, we have to make them throw it underneath us. Yeah. And make them beat us that way. And that's where I would have seen a bigger problem. But every single time in the first half, and then obviously their big plays, it was just they were throwing it, and he had 2 or 3 steps, and they would jump up and catch it. And that's a coaching thing, 100%. They were not prepared. They did not adjust. And I don't get that. Like, I think that's a huge failing.
I don't disagree with anything you just said, so I'm not going to argue it. I would just say that, so the biggest problem was the coaches were asking the players to do something that obviously they weren't capable of doing.
Coaching things.
So coaching thing. Now, what are those players? And I'm not on here to bash anybody, but we can all figure out some of the guys that had the biggest issues. What are those players capable of doing against NFL type players?
Yeah.
And now it goes back to the coaching. How can you not recruit? You've had JL Skinner for 3 or 4 years. I get that. You can't find another scholarship type player to come in. I'm not saying NFL player, but I really don't want to bash them. We got a walk-on kid trying to play starting safety for what should be a top 25 program. 0 scholarship offers.
But haven't you? Yeah. But don't you think?
Did he deserve to be on the field?
Well, he had the most tackles.
Why? Because they kept throwing.
But their safety traditionally has the most tackles. Like,
either way, he didn't play well.
No, not even close. But my thing is, take out 5 years in BSU history, and these are the players that we've always had. These guys.
Sure.
And so
I don't disagree
there's
with
a coaching element to that to say, look, if this is the guys you have, you need to. First of all, you have to make sure they don't throw it deep on you, because all 11 guys are now like the linebackers or D linemen are taken out of the equation if they can just throw over your head. And so you have to take that away. And every coach knows you take away the only chance you have to win is you take away the best aspect of their offense. And you just sell out on taking that away. And if they beat you still, or if they do something else, then it is what it is. That was atrocious. It was worse than atrocious.
Because they weren't really hurting us running the ball.
Well, they didn't have to.
And yards.
I think that's where, I think the philosophy of Andy Avalos and Danielson is stop the run at all costs, which generally is good unless you're playing the number 1 quarterback from last year with NFL receiver. You got to do something. And we did. We stopped the run. We made them one-dimensional, but they didn't have to. Yeah. I mean, no, we did early on. We stopped, and then they just found, but then at that point,
we don't know if we stopped the run.
Could they have come back to it? They just didn't try it again because they were just killing us.
They didn't need to.
So, but what you have to do as a coaching, I would think, is we stopped the run the first couple drives. Now they beat us 3, 4, 5 times over the top. Now we do something else to make them try and run again.
Game's over.
There was another one.
Game's over.
Exactly.
There was another one when Tubner knocked it loose. That
Caught. And that was a great move.
And
that was great defense.
I give him credit, but that was another
one.
They
were beat.
They were beat.
It was so bad that Danielson is smarter than me. And
they all are. We know that.
Fine.
We're not. We're just.
I'm just saying,
fans.
But
if
you're the coordinator, you got to say, look, they have the best passing attack that we'll see.
Yep.
We sold out to stop that. And they beat us because they threw underneath, they made plays, they didn't tackle, they ran it up. Okay, that's what we sold. You can defend that.
Yeah.
But really listening, he just said, look, it's on me, it's on me, it's on me. Yeah, dude, it is on you.
Yeah, so
like,
what do you
today you're talking about?
Say?
Yeah,
in the presser today.
Yes, I saw that.
Every one of them said that
They
starts
did.
with me, that starts with me, which
But-
is great.
but
You're
it means
supposed to
nothing.
say, you're supposed to say it as a coach. It doesn't mean much. And if it's on you, what were you doing in the offseason?
The whole, or during the game.
I know.
Or during the game.
It's super easy. Here's a question.
It was, sorry. No, I cut you off. Sorry.
No,
My bad.
I was just going to say, every time this happens, and it's happened once every 3 years, or every year.
Every year?
At least once a year.
Well, the opener
once a
last
year.
year, what a buzzkill.
there was
the
a couple
first
last
week.
year.
Well,
But at least once a year it's happened, and everybody comes out, oh, your expectations are too high. You guys can't do this. You're so spoiled. You're winning like this and that. And I just think, dude,
now we're
that
referring
is
to like,
people on Twitter or just
Coach
different
talking
responses.
yeah, okay.
Talking about us.
About us fans that we're spoiled.
Fans in
Okay, got it. Okay.
And I am so sick of that, especially in this situation, because if people are like, oh, dude, you're spoiled. You're so spoiled. Then I think, are you serious? Like, that was embarrassing. Like, I get not winning, but that was an embarrassment. And to be okay with that and say, oh, that means I don't. It almost means, look, you can't be passionate about Boise State because you're overdoing it.
I hate that criticism. Like, and I'm not for like, I try to be very muted, like on Twitter and things. Like sometimes I'll say things like, that was a little strong, and some people are over the top, but some people have valid concerns, that kind of what we're talking about right now. And like, then people, you're not a true fan if you're not all in, whatever. It's like, no. What would you rather have? A passionate fan base that sees criticism and has conversations about it and wants to win? Or just people are like, oh, whatever.
Game,
I mean, I hope they played well. I hope they had fun.
You know what it is?
Like, is that what you really want? Like, I saw Jeremiah today on Twitter was feisty today on Twitter about.
I thought it was a couple days ago.
So I just saw it just on my way in here.
Yeah.
And so apparently ticket sales for this coming game are not going well.
They're low.
I saw, like.
Didn't BJ Raines post something
Yeah.
like the
And
pricing?
so, well, the reality is that it's usually like that. And then, hey, the week, 2 weeks before the game, people start getting excited. But then you drop an egg and lose by 40, and people are like, well, the ticket's $85, cheapest one to get in there. I'm going to be there. I love it. But I understand.
Okay.
We talked about this before.
The best salesman for Dickey is Avalos.
Yeah.
And so he can't pedal it out. But here's my thing. Going back to that statement of saying, oh, you guys are, we hear it every year.
Yeah.
We hear it every time we lose.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the majority of the fan base are like, this is going to be a stupid analogy, but it's like Trump supporters, right? Trump supporters that feel like marginalized and all this stuff. And it's like, hey, look, we're just voicing our opinion. What we feel like is what we see on the field. And you're just marginalizing our analysis.
I can see that.
And it's like, okay, well, we have to invest in it. Right? I mean, I guess I just don't understand that they don't like both sides. Just say, that sucked, guys. Hey, that sucked. Why is it bad to say that? Yeah. And why is it bad to have expectations of losing by 14 or by 10 or by 7 or 20?
Yeah, because this is very different from the fan that's always out there like, oh, Avalos is on the hot seat. Let's fire Avalos or whatever. Those are dumb. But I think these are valid concerns. And getting shot down, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
I hate that.
They just want to say, hey, show up, bring it this Saturday. And it's like, well, it's kind of hard when we didn't get what we expected the first week.
It's that talking point that I feel like is put out there.
Fans think they're the coach, have to act like coaches. 1-0 mentality. Like, dude, you're not in the building. We're just fans. We talk. We have our own opinions.
Anyway.
But Dickey. So, anyways, Dickey was chippy today on because BJ wrote something about the prices being pretty expensive.
Yeah,
and they are.
They
tier them. They tier them like the more desirable games, more expensive. And Dickey actually responded to him just recently, and was like, they're the same as they have been for this game and that game the other years, and whatever. And you can just tell there's some chippiness there, which is fine. I get it.
Why is he upset? Why is he upset?
I don't know if he's upset.
Dude, did you see it?
I'll tell you why he's upset. I'll tell you why he's upset.
Why is he upset at us?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's upset at us. I think he's trying. I mean, he's trying. He's hired a staff to go sell tickets. Okay. And as of 2 weeks ago, their season tickets were 200 tickets, season tickets more than that time last year.
So they're ahead of pace.
Yeah, which is minuscule compared. I mean, there's 16,000 or 14,000, whatever it is. Whereas basketball is more than 1,000 more. Last year was more than 1,000 than the year previous, and now we've already bumped up another 1,000. So in 2 years, season tickets for basketball have like almost doubled, and in football, it's like, and it's so obvious. The difference. What's the difference? The basketball team is winning.
But you saw
people like the product on the field. People are not liking 17-10.
Well, you saw his tweet about the lion and the sheep, right?
Oh gosh.
Well, so
I didn't see it. What is it? Who's
you want to pull it
I'll
up?
try and
Dickie
pull it out.
put it out, and I just think, you know, if he is he listening? So who's in his ear giving him bad advice to where he posts on Twitter, "I'm a lion, not a sheep. Stay away from me," type of thing.
I don't know who's like tweeting at him
And
like derogatory things.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
if you listen to that,
it sounds
like,
so.
dude, come on,
You gotta
like
be above
everybody knows that.
So this is what Jeremiah put out last night, yesterday at 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I'm a lion and refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. I'll hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. Slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. And he quotes O.G. Mandino.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Anyways, it's a stupid thing to
Well,
to,
I guess
to
I just
tweet.
didn't understand it. Like,
Maybe I didn't either. But
who is getting after him that much to say, "Oh, fire Avalos," or "You're not doing a good job"?
I haven't seen any of that.
Right. Okay. Well, is he seeing that?
Well,
I
if
mean-
he is, then who cares? Why is he even responding to people like that?
I don't get that. I guess it's like, dude, when you lose, everybody
Dude, people
knows
are frustrated.
this. Yeah,
People are
everybody knows
frustrated.
this.
Just chill, man.
I
Like
know.
people are frustrated.
Well, why not just embrace it?
Yeah, and just say, hey, it
embrace
was
it.
bad. Like,
It was bad. That sucked.
here's
We
the problem.
hated that. That sucked.
is that it keeps happening. I mean,
Every
I didn't
opening
go,
game.
I mean,
Every opening game.
so
it's happening
two
like that.
and the UCF game we were up, and then like 2 years ago. But
Right. We should have
it's
won
just
that game.
such a buzzkill to. I mean, you go 8 months and it starts to build summer, fall camp, and there's this optimism, and then you just. I mean, we all three of us here, and I think most of Bronco Nation would agree. If they go in there and they play hard and they lose a tight one, or they lose by the spread 14, okay, on to the next one. But you get embarrassed like that. National television, it's just such a buzzkill. And now what it does for this week, and we were saying last week, we got to find a way to go 1-1. I don't know. I saw BJ talk the other day about, what's the big? I mean, you lose by 1 or you lose by 40. What's the difference?
There's a huge difference.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Well,
I don't agree with that whatsoever.
Why does BJ
At
Rain
all.
take that on him to do that?
I heard him say it multiple times in different forms, and yes, at the end of the day, he's Owen. But one, logistically, it's not the same because we're still in the fight for a New Year's Six bowl game. At the end of the year, when you lost to Washington, who let's say they're 10-2 at the end of the year, and we lose to them
Could play him
42-38, that's one thing.
difference.
50 whatever to 19, completely different.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. And then just psychologically for the fan base, for the team, it's not the same at all.
So how much control does Dickey have in, because we haven't been winning these big games to start out the season, right?
Oh,
Can we move these to the third game of the season?
that's a tough one.
Oregon's next year.
Well,
I think Oregon is the
I don't
first
think
week next year.
I don't think
mean,
we'll ever have really that. It may be the second game, but we are an opening game.
Right.
That's our
kinda
schedule.
how it is.
But can I tell? What would you do if you're Dickey right now? What would you do about the program right now? Honest question. I have my idea, and I'd like to say it at some point. But what would you be doing
at this point right now?
right now?
I don't know what you can do. I don't know what you can do as the
What do
AD.
you mean? Yeah. What do you mean? You don't know what you can do?
You can't fire a coach after 1 week.
I know. Okay. You
So-
can. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. What would you do?
I don't know. As
Okay.
the AD, I don't know what to do. I mean, go ahead. What would you do?
I think I'd be rah trying to sell tickets.
totally.
being- pumping
Yeah.
everybody up,
Yeah.
looking at the positive.
But you're missing one
Yeah.
point. Okay. If you don't have a legitimate backup for a head coach, you're doing it wrong.
He's got a list. He has to have a list.
Okay, but start
who are
working
they?
that list, dude, because I would be, right now, I would be Avalos. You're the guy. You're my guy. He's the man. I'm defending him to the end. And I see how this year goes. And if it's a mediocre 7-6, and you're busting your butt raising money, you're busting everything. Like he's doing his job.
He's doing his job.
Then we know so far what Avalos is able to do so far for 2 years. See how it goes. If it goes really well, hey, don't call anybody.
Yeah.
Don't need to do anybody, right?
Yeah.
But I'm working those back channels, and I'm like getting something ready because you can't keep doing this to your program. You can't keep doing this. You have to have somebody in waiting that you're working on. In my opinion, that's what I'd be doing.
I don't disagree. I didn't know if we were going to go. I'm not ready to sit here and say Avalos needs to be fired.
Why not?
I have
at the end of the year, why not?
questions. At the end of the year, maybe. Yeah.
You said yourself on Twitter, Avalos' record without Cutter.
I did say I was one who said that. I got quoted on that on another show. Avalos' record without Cutter is 9-8.
9-8. Brutal.
I mean, seriously, at Boise State.
Well, dude, and how many of those 9 wins?
And most of them are Mountain West bottom feeders. So he's 2 years in. I think if this is a 7-5 year, I think you do fire him. I think you have to.
Yeah.
And I just tweeted this to Jeremiah about the ticket sales. It's expensive to be mediocre.
Right. Because if you
it is very costly to be mediocre because how much money are you losing on ticket revenues? Yeah. I mean, merchandise,
booster sale, all that.
Boosters, people donating money. It's expensive to be 7-5.
The opportunity cost that you're losing out
it's huge.
Is bigger than
and look at what's going on in college football, okay? Yes, we can't pull in Deion Sanders, but the overhaul that Deion Sanders did there, 1-11, but look at Texas State. I saw that from Pat Forty.
Can we talk about that
another day or right now?
About Deion?
No, just like what he did to bring in all those players.
So before we do Deion, I just want to point out Texas State, who I don't even know what their mascot. I know nothing about Texas State other than they've been nobody. They pull in KG Keene they got a new coach.
Yeah,
he did a mini Deion. He brought in 57, I believe, 57 new players. What did they do this weekend? You know?
They won,
They went to Baylor as 21-point underdogs and won.
So is it a new era of the one and done?
Yes. No, it's a one and done. It's the new coach comes in, a bunch of guys transfer out, you just hit the portal. And that's the other thing that maybe drives me a little crazy about Avalos is he's
loyal to his guys.
He's loyal to his guys, potentially to a fault. And he started saying this offseason, and he's mentioned it multiple times. We're a developmental program. Ooh. And to me, it seemed like it looks like, well, we don't really want to go into the portal. I don't know if we're lazy. I don't know if we want to put in the work. I don't know if we're just too loyal to our guys. But we're not hitting the portal like a lot of places are. And there's we need to hit a portal for a freaking starting safety.
Well, the thing is,
some end rushers.
Yes.
You know, who was
why are we not in the portal?
Who was that basketball coach for Nevada that went to Arkansas?
Oh, yeah. I love that guy.
Because
I hated and love that guy. Eric Musselman.
He changed the BSU culture.
He did in a good way
because he said he brought in guys from other programs and instantly won.
Yeah.
And then BSU was like, "Oh, we can't do a 4-year development thing. We can't
Leon started doing it too,
and so we started winning." But that's a different mentality, dude. You have to be like, "Look, you're not going to make it here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get rid of you, a guy that you went into his home and pitched him to coming in." And you got to make that decision. Say, get out.
Are we too nice? Is Avalos too nice?
Well, it looks
we're kind
like
of talking it. We're kind of we don't know, but I think all the signs are he's a player's coach. Everyone loves him. Do we want? You don't have to be Brian Harsin, and it's impossible to be Chris Peterson, but you can't just. Name me how many players, coaches. I don't know.
If you were Avalos, and I'm not saying this is Tubner's a good guy, I'm sure, right?
I hate to back up,
but whoever the backup of Tubner is,
bad.
Whoever the backup of Tubner is,
true freshman.
Okay, let's just say he's a junior.
Like sophomore. We missed 3 years of recruiting because we were saving it for
Is
tubes.
he really? Do you know that?
We're like, we got tubes. We're not going to recruit a safety for 3 years because we got tubes.
You could have missed.
So
anyway,
we obviously missed on 3 years of safeties.
But you could have gone out and said, hey, it's not working. I know you gave the last 4 years of your life to this place, but you're not going to play.
The problem is they love him. They love the guy in the building.
I'm just saying.
That's fine.
I'm just saying, but that's how you earn your $3 million.
Love him as a backup.
But you look at, Deion's at one end of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And it's very clear his behavior, his mentality.
Wants to win.
He wants to win. And it's like, that town, Boulder is fired up.
Dude. They sold out their season tickets. They haven't sold out nothing.
College football is fired up about Deion. If you're not a Deion or a Colorado fan, I think you are a little bit now.
Is that just like checking the wind direction, like following what they're doing? Or is there a nice medium? Because you can develop guys, but you need to fill gaps of people that can get you better now.
Yeah.
And you can do that.
Yeah. There's no reason why there's these guys from other places. There's so many guys that enter the portal that they had to have known we have weaknesses here and here. And I saw Pro Football Focus. They're like the big analytics company, and Washington's offense it's something to do with the statistic. They were number one as far as basically the quarterback didn't get rushed. Like on 97%. This is horrible. Sorry.
Okay,
but there's some sort of stat that it was like, we just got no pressure on him, basically.
90% of stats are made up.
Yeah, anyways, that was bad. Sorry.
We sucked at sacking. Well, didn't he get 2 sacks or something?
We got 1 sack early on. The first little bit, we started out great. We did.
It doesn't matter.
The rest of the time was just tough.
Yeah. No, that could be a problem.
It seems like we're playing with the rules of 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they've changed, right? We're not looking at the transfer portal, at least.
So is that, if you're Dickey, do you go out and say, hey, this is the type of guy I want? Not like a build a culture for forever, but like this is a building block guy where he's going to come here for 4 years and win and leave.
I think that he needs to get in Avalos' ear and say, we need to win now.
I think Avalos,
and here's how can we do that? Come together as a team. And Utah State did it like a couple years ago. Like they were really bad. They had a coach come in. He got a ton of and this is before the transfer portal. They got a bunch of transfers. They won the league, and then he bailed. You know what I mean?
Do we want that?
Yeah.
Who would you rather have?
That's the name of the game now.
Okay. Would you rather have Harsin or Avalos?
Dude, so the statistics would say Harsin is significantly better than Avalos. The Harsin haters will say he left the cabinet's bare, whatever. There's no way to prove that.
Because I think we all see Avalos as a nice guy.
Everyone,
right?
yeah.
But
we like him, I think.
How do you build a culture if you're replacing guys as much as we're talking about? Is that important?
That's the question. We talked about last week. Deion came out and said culture. He kind of made fun of the word culture and said, I want to win. I want to bring in guys that want to win. Maybe that's the culture. You come in here, it's super competitive, we're going to win. I don't know what culture this is a football team. Like, what do we exactly want from these guys?
Like culture, if you're going to be, culture is what stays, right? Like in any business, if you have a toxic culture, it's done.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. I agree with that.
And if your only culture is winning and you're losing, then you've lost everything.
I agree.
You're a 0 for 12. So that's the downfall. That's the
of
downside
it.
of it.
And Boise State has always been the team in Idaho that you needed to build. You needed to do these extra little things, right? So yeah, it's tough.
I don't know.
It's a tough deal. I get it, but it's just you got to be able to plug some holes with obvious deficiencies. That did not happen over the offseason. That's on the recruiting staff and that's on the coaches.
Yeah, I don't want to. You talked about not picking on people. I don't think we need to pick on any individual names, but you look at the secondary and it's like, this is what we got. And they keep saying they're better than what was shown on the field.
And they are.
I hope so.
But their coaches, that was a coaching deficiency. Legitimately. They only should have had 2 deep bombs on them, right? And they should have shut it down.
Yeah.
And then it's all 10-yard passes in the middle. And
make them dink and dunk.
Exactly. You have to do that.
And there were some sprinkled in there, but not enough to where they fully sold out and went for taking away the long ball.
Even Tubner was like, we could have taken away a lot of those. And you're like, dude, that's like basic football. Like there was when I was playing cornerback, and there was a game where they just threw it over our heads all day long, and they won. Not our senior year.
Nope.
But me and the other corner, we just got trashed by our coaching staff, and they're like, okay, that's never going to happen again. And they're just like, you're playing forward now. If the ball's always in front of you, if you ever get beat, you're not going to play. Like if you get beat like that, where you're watching the ball go over your head, the receiver catch it. So, that's just basics. That was so frustrating to me. You're seeing guys 2 or 3 steps behind the receiver, and you don't have a chance to make a play on the ball. And anyway, I don't want to retread it over and over and over. But that was a coaching thing. That wasn't a player thing. But it leads into it.
What about some positives? Should we talk about positives? There was some positives. Actually, I saw a few positives.
I was just going to say 28 points in the second quarter, but that's not a positive.
No, I think
but there's
the punter
the positives.
was awesome.
Okay, the punter was
The
great.
punter was great.
But that could be a flash in the pan. He could just go back to normal and
But he did great.
whatever. And that you're not going to win any games on the punter, right?
No, you can flip, but low scoring
line-
games against San Diego. Some of these teams in the league, Wyoming.
I saw.
Wyoming.
Wyoming had a good game for sure. Texas Tech. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, your guy over here.
Wyoming,
Dude, hold
Fresno
on.
State won.
Fresno State won it. What if Craig Bohl was Boise State's coach?
No, I don't care. No, that would be horrible.
Why?
I would not like that.
Why?
What has he done at Wyoming? He's a 6-6 guy every year. He had
Wyoming.
At Wyoming.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I don't
amazing.
want. I want a Musselman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I at this point,
Like
if-
energetic, young.
Give me 3 years.
Yeah.
Go off to
Yeah.
USC.
I mean, that
or
would be
whatever.
preferable.
I want somebody to be excited about, and I just don't think.
No.
they're-
Bulls is a-
I was
another
so,
guy.
yeah, you wouldn't be excited about it. Yeah, that's a good point. I was so excited about Avalos.
Can I go to the
Was.
positives for the game?
Yeah.
Offensive line got push,
They were great. I
and
thought-
that was awesome.
Dude,
okay,
from
we
what I
ran
was
the ball
expecting.
really well.
we ran the ball. Holani was iffy, but but that leads us into why the hell didn't we run Taylor Green? Like, what were we
And
doing?
The media
That
did
was
they kept
insane.
asking the question. I don't think we got a good answer. I saw
Well,
Hamden.
He's like they would spread out their edge rushers like way far out.
Okay.
Right?
That's
So we
why
couldn't get the
Talon
edge.
did.
That's why couldn't run.
Talon didn't run one design run. They said
they
that
had 10,
they
at
had
least
10 zone reads, which is like either hand it or take it, and he handed it every time, which is fine. But what about naked
draw.
boots?
Yeah.
What about draws?
In
What
their
anything?
defense, when the game gets away from you, it just you
Sure,
throw
but
the
in the
plan
first
out
half,
the window.
that's
Yeah.
true. I agree.
But it
do
was a
you
problem.
do you think that Talon should have been
He
running?
should
more
have been
than
running. a
He
ton.
ran 5. They gave him 5 rushes. 1 was a sack. 4 were scrambles. He didn't have one
Scrambled
design
for
run.
a nice first down
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
No, he should have ran. No,
I think I said
that's
this,
our strength.
I think I said this the other last year. He was so raw, and Cutter was able to. All right, what do you do? Well, he ran it well, and they got him outside of the pocket, like moved the pocket and had him thrown out there.
Okay, but-
we didn't do that at all. Either one of those.
Even if they spread out their, I mean, you practice for that, and you say, okay, we're going to bring a fullback
no one
over,
do that?
and you're going to close the edge out, and he's going to get outside. If you can't get your guy
Or
outside,
you're running between the end and the.
I mean, just go straight.
nose tackle.
There's
I
a
don't-
gap there. I guess that was a huge issue, but at the same time, that was Hamden's first time to be issue.
yeah,
Okay, whatever.
I'm not gonna. We had 400 yards of offense, which actually isn't bad.
Well, they were scoring
The problem was
so
the
fast.
right, but I thought the offense had flashes. The drops were bad. We don't need to rehash all the.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that stuff.
We had
The positives.
138 rushing yards.
No, and on very few we should, but I thought the offensive line was better than I
Offensive
thought.
line was great. Yeah.
I thought the punter was good.
The punter, I get it.
No,
but,
he
But it's
was.
a single game thing. Like he bombed some punts, but that
Yeah.
could be a total flash in the
Who
pan.
do you give the MVP to? Because I give it to the punter.
There's a punter. It was.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
The punter's never going to win you a game. He may help
it tells
a
you
game.
something.
What does it tell you, Matt? What does it tell
There's
you?
a lot
already
of
talked about
deficiencies around
Okay.
on all sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Taylor, so
whatever.
we talked
It-
about
it-
hoping that Taylor would be a better passer. I don't know. I'm not ready to. He struggled. Let's be honest. 19
Well, the
for
receivers also
39,
were bad,
and there
that
were
game.
so many drops.
And the receivers couldn't get open, and they couldn't.
No
They couldn't help them
separation.
out.
I
That was a
really
big
expected
deal.
more from the receivers. It was just like every time we threw the ball, they either got a hand in or we dropped it, but they were right there.
Right
And
there.
every time they threw the ball, it was a 3-yard gap. It's just like, is the talent, it's just such a disparity.
I mean, scheme and talent.
there. Yeah, both.
That was- that-
combination.
that
So,
was
okay,
horrible.
so Washington was the best team we're going to play all year. They could very well go to the playoff. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not ready. I don't even know. I'm
think
not ready to give Washington crown them because.
So if they get a team that plays them that has like corners that are like
Slow?
NFL type corners, no NFL type corners, then they didn't have to run against us.
They
couldn't run
lose
against
3 or
us.
4 games that
they
way.
could but it goes back to personnel. But
Yeah.
I think they will struggle some. They're not just going to blow people away, but
Yeah, Washington turns to a different game plan if they can't throw 60-yard
Right,
bombs every
right.
play, right?
totally. So it's hard to know, hard to say.
Well, that was a very therapeutic session for me.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to watch those games, man.
That was tough.
I have to log out and then just check a bunch in the second half. Just
Did you
come
guys
back.
watch it all the way to the end?
I
No.
did. I did.
No, I didn't make it.
I did.
It's tough for me. It's tough.
We put Madsen in, and he kind of got a drive down there, and we got to like the 10 or 15 yard line and ran out of time. Or it was 4th and
like
6.
the backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
did that?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So we went on our last drive, and
I mean, they had their second or third.
Yeah,
string.
yeah. It was backups on backups.
Yeah.
It was, and their last touchdown. It was interesting. They had a 4th and 1 up
Yeah,
30
I saw
points,
that, and they went for
and
it.
they went for a touchdown.
I
It was
love,
interesting.
It's
I
our
don't-
job to stop them.
Yeah,
though,
it
right?
is.
I
It's
love
just
how
interesting.
like objective you are. For me, it's slow torture watching those games, but you're like objectively looking at the game, and it's super impressive that you can do that.
I don't.
I have so much emotion in it.
No, I just-
it's slow
it's
torture, and
frustrating.
you can watch the whole game and
I
handle
expect.
that.
So, like I said, 52,
Your tolerance for pain is
I kind
higher.
of expected a lot of
No.
that. I did.
See, I would expected back and forth, back and forth,
But-
back and forth, and then they pull ahead at the end. And just
I expected they would
rattle off.
score, and they did. I expected our offense to look better.
Okay, well,
I thought we'd run the ball better. We just
if
didn't
you're
run it
interested
enough.
in knowing what Mark expected, go back because he actually called it. He
called
legitimately
it.
called it.
Yeah. All right. Where does this leave us?
Are we turning to UCF? Because I have some.
Yeah.
Should we go to UCF or should we go to the segment first, and then go to UCF?
Let's both. This is for both of you guys
Okay. Yes.
because we have some UCF trivia.
What? National champs?
National champ.
Self-proclaimed.
I wonder if that guy's still there.
Who?
That AD.
No, he's at Tennessee.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he brought
has
over the
success.
Heupel.
Hypo's, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about UCF. So this is all trivia regarding UCF.
Okay.
You can both chime in.
Okay.
Who was the coach when UCF completed its winless to wonderful turnaround? In 2015, they went 6 and 7.
It wasn't
In
wasn't
2016,
Rule, was it? Matt Rule? No.
They went 0-11,
No.
2015, 6
0-11
and
was
7,
like
and
O'Leary.
then undefeated.
Well, Scott Frost.
Scott Frost.
Yeah, he wasn't the O and whatever.
Where
though.
is Scott Frost by now?
He was at Nebraska and just got
Right,
fired from
but where is
Nebraska.
he now?
I think he's doing a pulling a Harsin. He's out for the year.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
He'll
idea.
be somewhere.
Who did UCF upset in 2007 to earn their first rank in the AP Top 25 poll?
2007?
2007. We're going way back.
Wow. I didn't even know. Oh.
Can you do it?
Louisville.
No, it was Matt. Anything?
Who did UCF beat?
Yeah.
2007?
Can you give us the conference?
Yeah, it's the currently
Florida State?
it's the Big 12.
Big 12.
It's
Texas.
Texas.
Huh.
Texas.
In the Fiesta Bowl following the 2017 season, UCF defeated which team to complete a perfect 13-0 season?
Jeez.
Has some tie to us.
I don't know, man.
Has some tie. They're in the SEC. This is a game where the SEC would say, "Oh, we don't care about it."
Yeah. It's always.
There's some tie to Boise State here. If you're gonna get
In
that
the SEC.
in the SEC, who has a tie
Georgia.
to Boise State?
No. South Carolina. Georgia.
A coaching tie.
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
Okay.
There's
There
Auburn.
you go. Auburn, 2017.
Well, that tie has been severed, so.
Which former UCF player won the Super Bowl MVP with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018?
What's this bucket?
What was that? Sorry.
Carson Wentz.
No.
No,
Say that
Who is
again.
it?
Who
Say
won
that
the
again?
Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Not Wentz.
He was kind of like a
Yeah.
one and done guy. at
Jalen
that
Hurts?
No.
No.
What are we talking
Hold
about?
on,
Oh,
hold on.
it wasn't Wentz?
In 2018,
Oh.
he was
Who's
a
the other
UCF. I
guy?
didn't know he was a UCF quarterback.
These segments aren't good. They're just showing
Nick
everyone how stupid
Foles.
we are.
Nick Foles.
He was UCF?
I guess so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick Foles.
Okay.
Last one. UCF
Hopefully
has,
this is no indication of how the game's going to go.
yeah, UCF has the longest active winning streak against an in-state rival at 7 games.
Ooh.
Which Florida team is this
It's
against?
going to be South Florida or Florida International. It's probably South Florida.
The Bulls?
Yeah. Let's go South Florida. Yeah? Yeah, South
Nailed
Florida.
it.
Yeah.
South Florida.
All right.
South Florida has some good teams, and then they disappear,
Yeah.
and then they'll come
Well,
back.
UCF did the same thing. They like,
Yeah.
winless.
Well,
and then
they would have
go
like
up
coach,
and then
coach,
winless,
coach,
and then,
coach.
yeah. Which is one thing about Boise State that I've always respected. We've gone through a lot of coaches. We haven't had a losing season since late 90s.
Don't count
You know what
that
I
out.
Well, hasn't happened yet. I
Don't
don't, and
count
it
that
won't
out,
this
right?
year. It won't this year. I don't honestly. So going. Are we done with the trivia? We still got the music going. So it confused me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think we just spent 20 minutes talking about the game and pretty the negatives. I don't think we're a bad team. Ultimately,
What is a bad
and
team?
what makes me feel decent about that, saying that, is that we're playing in the Mountain West Conference. Granted,
Can our secondary get us through?
see, I don't think there's that many teams that's going to be that big of a deal. I really don't. Fresno has a good quarterback.
Who's their
They
quarterback?
might be tough. Wyoming won that game, but it's not like their quarterback. I think that there's only going to be this week. UCF will be tough, and probably at Fresno. But as far as like teams that can expose that weakness, those are probably the only two teams.
But in all reality, taking that away, the deep ball, isn't impossible to do.
It's that's what I'm saying.
It's not impossible
Walk
to do.
us through it. How do you do it?
Just saying, like, stopping the runs harder and stopping like certain things.
and
is a
like
lot
if you're
harder.
just like physically getting beaten,
exactly.
And I think that we're okay. I was fairly
Potentially.
happy with that. So
we don't know how good our defense is.
yeah,
We
it's
really
just-
have no idea because
We didn't see really any linebackers. We didn't see any.
Yeah,
Hey, you take
defensive
all the
ends.
you
you
didn't
take
even hear
out
the name of like
No.
half the
you
starters.
take 7 players out when you just throw deep
Yeah.
because it's just 4 guys
They
back
don't do
there.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do nothing.
We didn't hear Washington. We didn't hear
no.
Hassanin
Was
or whatever.
were they?
it is.
Did they play?
They played.
They
Yeah, yeah.
played.
yeah.
Like on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, they couldn't do anything. There's 3 seconds, throw deep, and
Yeah.
you can't do anything,
Yeah,
right?
no,
It
it's
doesn't
tough.
matter if you bring 7 guys. So,
Yeah. So UCF.
UCF, you're going to the game.
I'm going to the game.
You're going to the game. Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
going to the game? I don't have tickets.
I'm looking at it.
You should get
I was
tickets,
looking at
dude. You
tickets.
guys need to go.
South End Zone. There was 2 tickets for like $49 a piece.
Nice. Was that like on a?
It was on Ticketmaster, and they
Oh,
were
really?
not reselled or
Really?
resold.
I didn't know that
Okay.
they went as low as 50. I thought the lowest for UCF
I
was
just
like
saw them today.
85.
They're probably gone. But
Okay. You should go. I think we're going to win.
What's the weather? Let me check.
It's going to be fine. It's
yeah,
going to be
I'm
warm.
sure it will
like
be.
80s.
Yeah, 80s.
Feel it.
Yeah. 5 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be perfect.
Florida type.
Saturday,
weather.
87.
I actually think we're going to win.
Humid.
And I don't know why. Like, they just won 56-6 over Kent State. We just lost. But
By the opposite
56,
margin.
19.
I think we're going to win, though. I think
Why?
the team is going to
Why?
respond.
'Cause they
I
have
think
a-
the road trip's tough. I mean, they're coming
Yeah.
from Florida. I think there's that. I mean, they do have 2 extra days. They played on Thursday. But I think that home field hasn't been great with Avalos. I have a feeling, and last week I have a feeling we're going to win this game.
They
Yeah.
had UCF.
I think they need to win this game.
Again, they played Kent State. Total yards,
It's like 760.
723. Passing yards, 334. Rushing yards, 389.
Wow, 1,000 yards on offense.
No, 723.
Total yards.
Total
I thought you
yards
said
of
passing yards.
723.
Okay, excuse me.
That
Yep. Well, it's hard to know. It's just so hard
It's
to know
hard.
who's good. And
Yeah, you
and
got to
not at
wait
this
a
point.
month to
But that's
really.
a lot.
It's a lot. They're going to be good.
I would
think
be
our
licking my
offense is
chops
gonna-
if I was UCF right now.
Yeah.
I would be liking my
You,
odds.
you don't think they're scared like that? Hey, Boise State's coming off this horrible loss. They're going to be ready. They're going to be mad.
I'm sure they're thinking.
I don't.
Did you see that they're practicing on a local
Yeah, I
high
saw
school field that's blue? I actually liked. So you guys
Gets in
remember
their
that
head?
Oregon
Yeah.
State did that.
They
They painted a practice field blue, and it's just I think you're making too big of a deal about it. The minute you start playing into that and practicing on it, you're changing it didn't. And I remember the head coach Riley, after that game was like, we made too much of a
Yeah, but
deal
the
of
biggest
this.
difference was we had a great team then.
True. No, I get that. Honestly, the fact that they're even doing that just tells me it's in their head,
Yeah, that's fine.
which I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know anything about UCF besides the score.
Gus Malzahn, they run their tempo fast. They kind of,
Okay.
they're one of those
Gus
tempo
Malzahn
teams.
wins.
He wins. He does a lot of the quarterback ran for like 900 yards last year. Like he's fast. He can run. They're going to be tough. I think it's going to be
last year.
Yeah. He was the
So
coach
we played him last year.
2 years ago, and he was the coach then.
Was he at
That
Auburn
was his
before
first year.
UCF?
He went to no, he was at Ole Miss, I thought.
No. He was Auburn.
Auburn.
He went to UCF. The same. Avalos and him had the first game was the same.
I thought Hugh Freeze.
No.
Because he kind of got kicked out a couple different places, right?
Malzahn.
Or Gus Malzahn.
Yeah,
That's
we're talking about Gus
I was
Malzahn.
talking about Hugh Freeze.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
Hugh Freeze at? He's at a Florida team.
He's at
right?
Ole Miss now.
Oh, he's at Ole Miss. Okay,
yeah.
that's right. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think
Yeah,
he's just
Gus
really
Malzahn.
good. I think we're gonna bounce. I think we're gonna run the ball more and more. I think we're gonna run the ball more. The defense can't get worse. It can't get worse.
That's a good point.
So
Hugh Freeze
I
is
think
at
being
Auburn.
home. Oh, Hugh Freeze. What did I
went
say?
back
Miss?
to
Is
Auburn.
Ole
Ole
Miss?
Miss.
Sorry, that's Kiffin. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
Yeah, he took
Yep.
ours.
Back to
Sorry,
Auburn.
thank you.
I don't know. It would go a long way to winning this game for me. If we don't win this game, it's bare bones, like bottom of the barrel.
How
type
important
thing.
is this game?
It's huge.
To what?
So it has nothing to do with the conference. We could all agree
Sure.
with that. But how important is it for the psyche of the team, the fan
If
base?
we don't win this game, I'm basically sold on Avalos.
Sold like he's done.
He's got to go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Like if you can't
You're-
win
you're
these
on the
games,
blue.
I think that's fair.
You're on the blue. You just had a learning experience with Washington.
I hate that they all said that.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's like, look, you can't. This is not the time for that type of learning experience.
Like, did you just find out you were going to play Washington?
Yeah, a learning experience is.
Did you just find out they're going to be
Yeah,
really good?
it's like, well, every game is a learning experience. So that's win or
It's done.
lose
We don't
is
need to
learning
hear it
experience.
anymore.
And
Anymore.
taking like that type of learning experience, why? No, you're there to avoid that type of learn. You shouldn't have to learn that.
Yeah, and how he talks about like building, we're going to build into this team and we're going to get better. It's like, dude,
No.
like there's only 12 games. Like every game
gotta be
counts. There's no
sprinting.
preseason. Like every game counts. He talks like, oh, well, we'll be, yeah, you might be better at the end of the year, but if you lose 4 games before then, you're done.
Yeah.
You're playing the
I
freaking
don't
whatever
know.
bowl.
I just don't. I'm not sold.
So it's big for Avalos. So
well, his record on the blue isn't
it's
great.
bad. I
It's the
can't.
worst.
I've stated it. I can't remember what it is now. I think he's lost 5 on the blue. He's like,
And why is it bad to say that? Why is it bad to say that when people say,
It's
"Oh,
the
your
fact.
expectations are too high"? It's like, "Oh, well, no, not really." I mean, we had great teams, we had great runs. Why couldn't we keep winning games on the blue?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we do that? I get that. Like, I guess,
Like,
I don't understand why it's bad to say that. Anyway,
yeah, has it just been a steady decline with recruits coming to Boise State after Coach Pete?
I
Because
don't think
like, where
so.
are the? You think about safeties. You think, I mean, JL Skinner recently has been great, but I mean, where's the George Iloka type guys? I mean, I know
okay.
that's a while ago.
we won't have those guys for a long time.
yeah,
but
I don't. I mean, maybe this is something we can look at, but like if you go by like recruiting rankings, there has not been a drop off since Pete.
I
It's
think-
coaching and development that's
Yeah.
the drop off.
I think
it's
we've
not
had
the
the
raw
same guys.
talent. It's not the raw talent that's the issue. It's that we're bringing in basically the same guys. Once in a while, you can get a guy with Power 5 offers, but we're not developing
always
the way
been
that
that
we
way.
used to.
It's
It's
always
always been. I don't think that's significantly different.
Were we missing Marcel Yates?
Dude, the car lots over on Chinton are missing Marcel Yates.
Dude, he was the king. Like DBU,
He was awesome.
right?
Dude, DBU, man.
dude,
Where
I
is-
liked Yates.
We're not DBU right now.
No. Pete had some
Well, we brought
tolerance
in-
for some of these guys, coaching and players. DeMarcus Lawrence. He had some
Well, you
guys.
have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Titus.
Yeah. And when was Titus Young?
Well, he
have to.
disciplined Titus a bunch.
He did,
Yeah.
but he kept him around.
Yeah, for sure. You got to keep.
He
You got
sat
to
him
keep
for a
Titus around,
year,
dude.
but he kept him around.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time we had a guy? And not say I want these guys. I mean, I appreciate that these guys aren't out getting in trouble. I do appreciate that.
Are
But-
you really gonna ask when's the last time these guys got in trouble? Get out of here, dude.
Well, are they too
Are you
I was
nice?
going to ask that.
serious?
Of course, I was going to
Whatever.
ask that.
Are
Why
they too
would-
nice? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
When go out and
You want,
the coach
you want
say?
Herbert
Are you
Gums to
serious?
go out and
Are
like
you
Come on,
serious?
Herb. Come on,
Oh,
Herb.
my God.
go like
Why would you say that? When was the last time we've had some
Yeah.
criminally, you know?
When's the last time we've had somebody fall asleep in their car
I
at
want
a stoplight?
somebody in
Dude.
prison. I
A lot of
want
wins.
somebody
a lot
in
of wins
prison.
came with
Dinwiddie.
that. A lot of wins came with the guys that pass out on Capitol Boulevard. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at
I
it.
don't think that I don't think it's a personnel thing. I think it's a coaching thing.
Yeah,
That's
it is
what you're
coaching.
saying.
Yeah,
We're not getting significantly different guys.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know enough about the coaches out there to know who's a Musselman and who's a Bowles.
No. And who can you
Craig
get?
Bowles.
Who can we get for 1.5
Why would you
million?
ask Craig Bowles, by the way? Do you legitimately
Would
want
he-
Craig
He's
Bowles?
got some fire.
Okay, yeah, would he excite him? Would our record, if Craig Bohl started the year that Andy Avalos started, would his record be 17-10? I don't know. It's a hypothetical. We don't know.
I mean, he hasn't killed it in Wyoming.
But he was at Wyoming. He was at
Josh
North Dakota
Allen.
State. I don't know. Who cares? We don't want Craig Bohl anyways. But
Would Chode have done better?
that's a great question. Here, the interesting thing to me was when that whole thing went down, and those were kind of the two names that kind of popped up after Kellen basically dropped out. You saw a ton of ex-Boise State players like on Twitter very vocally supporting Choate.
Which mean nothing to me, by the way.
Which didn't at that time meant nothing to me. And I was just like, he's at Montana State. His record's like 22-20. I mean, it wasn't like a super impressive record. And I was 100% behind Avalos.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any like players.
Choate.
I don't know.
Choate gets fired up. I like that about him.
He does get fired up.
Fired up. Like,
I don't know.
Give him that.
It's so hard. It's so hypothetical. I don't know.
Would Kellen have done better?
It's so hard to say. But if Harsin stayed,
yes.
I know one thing. If Harsin stayed, there's no way we're 17-10 the last 2+ years.
You're right. You're probably right.
What would it do for you if Avalos threw his headset?
Oh, if it was just a scene where he threw his headset and threw it down, that's not enough, dude.
Or pulled a kid aside and just lit into him.
Yeah, that.
You want
get
that.
a coach.
I wouldn't mind
after
seeing
a coach.
that.
Dude, I'm going to get too fired up about this. Look at Saban. I mean, you need a general on the field that,
and he's in his 70s.
Makes sure these guys know this is what you want.
He's not that. He's not.
No, he's not. And if you want, you say, if we're going to win this game, we have to shut down the run, get it done right now. And you have to, and he's probably saying it, but I guess the court of public opinion, he's not, right? And so for me, it's like, dude, you got to get out there. You got to scratch, claw, and fight. And if you're not doing that, like, okay, pat him on the butt, move on, whatever. They should know type of a deal. All right, well, I guess here's where we're at.
Do you guys feel like Andy has any sense of, is the seat warm at all? Between him and Dickey, is there any like...
It shouldn't be. If I'm Dickey, I wouldn't make the seat warm. I would plant the seed a little bit later on in the season if it's going really bad, but it shouldn't be warm in public. And it even shouldn't be warm between him and Dickey. In my opinion, if I was Dickey, I'd be like, go, man, you can do it. We can do some great season. We're going to sell this stuff. But I'm behind the back channels going crazy on that. Like, I am totally... And then if we lose 3 or 4 games, seeds planted... Bro, got to do it. Business decision. Got to move on. Sorry, type of thing.
Get the interim head coach and then line up the next guy. Is that what you're saying?
I would, yeah. I'd put Danielson in and say, look, the season's over. It doesn't matter. You make a decision. I mean, if he has a losing streak,
I don't think he will though. I think we're premature. I think
that's fine.
I think we're premature on this. I honestly think we're going to win. If we lose this next game, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, what it looks like. But I still think the Mountain West is just. I still think we can win. Basically a cakewalk.
Well, there's
but
5
I don't know.
games.
I don't know. Wyoming looked good. Fresno looked good. San Diego does not look good. They almost lost to Idaho State. Yeah, I think this week is big though. Who
do you think that Dickey has big donors that are going to be in his ear, be like, dude, we got to win?
I just don't know how many big donors that are out there.
Does Dickey have big donors?
You got to say it. I said it.
I don't know.
That's a personal question.
It's a tough sentence to say out loud.
It's not that difficult to see. That I know I referred to it already, but look what's happening in the basketball program.
But what if you're Dickey
sales.
and you're like, I need more money, and the guy's like, I need to see some wins.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone out there right now, but I think if it's another mediocre. Dude, it's just like if you win, people come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, they'll open up their wallets.
The casual fan, but also the businesses and the people with money. Yeah. I think there's a direct correlation.
I just wonder if there's any power brokers at BSU that are like, hey, dude, I'm not giving any more money until...
I just don't think maybe.
Yeah, well,
I don't think they're there yet.
There's $24 million that was raised.
Yeah.
And so there's money
Can
being
they start
given.
throwing their money like to players, you know? Kind of under the table.
Yeah, maybe that. Well, they don't have to
be
over
under the table anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they need to start working harder.
What are you talking about?
Need to get some more recruits from the donors.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, NIL at Boise State. I mean, that's something we could, yeah.
That is something we should probably talk about at some point, which I'm super confused. I don't know if you, let's say you have 50,000 you want to give to BSU. Should you give it to BSU or a player?
The question, yeah.
Honestly,
the tough
who
thing
should you give
about
it
like
to?
giving, like some of these places that give money to recruits, like we've seen it here at Boise State, like some of these 4-star Dylan Sumner Garden or some of these big time recruits just don't work out.
I'm not even saying.
I mean, look at our
recruits.
team right now.
I'm saying Taylor Green.
So it's guys like
Or
Ashton
Gentry.
Genty.
Okay.
I mean, he was a bright spot. That was the other one that was a really bright spot
great.
from the game, right? He's from Texas. He's
could
here.
leave.
He could. Why does,
Easily.
you know what I mean? Like he absolutely, in my opinion, is a flight risk, right? After this year. So that's the kind of guy that you spend NIL on, in my opinion.
Okay, but
you know what I mean?
you know what it is we need guidance on that. Like if you're a person that says, "Hey, I want to give $50,000,"
Yeah.
and Dickie's like, "Hold on, I think you need to give this to a player
Uh-huh.
or players," and they'd be like, "Hey, this is who you give it to."
Yeah, I don't know.
You think they don't do that, or you think like
I've
have a
asked him
collective.
that. I've asked him that.
asked who?
What does he say?
Dickie.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, we got some stuff putting together. You know what I mean? That's a really good question we're working on." And you know, they have that NIL.
The collective,
Yeah,
the Horseshoe Collective.
yeah. And I think that's what he's talking about. Because I don't know that he can get in there and say, pay Gentry or Genty money or
Yeah,
pay
it's-
Taylor Green money. I don't know what he can or can't do.
I don't know what he can do, but the collective can. You know, because they're not.
No, but am I? And the collective's gonna be like, oh yeah, we have some girls basketball players that we'd love for you to,
No,
you know. And it's like,
I
look,
don't know. I don't know.
that's a tough question to.
How
to go
does that
after.
work?
That's a good question.
I don't have $50,000 to give to a player. You might.
Okay,
So
but
let's say that.
that would be a wasted investment for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'm not going to do that.
And so I wouldn't, you know, at this point, but you know, all the other big programs are doing that. And I could see at a time that there's $250,000 coming in every year to players on the football team at Boise State. I could see that happening. Certainly it should be happening if that's the way it continues to go.
Yeah.
Because you need a payroll
Yeah.
to keep these guys on. I mean, that's the reality, right? What if Texas what if a Big 12 team
Baylor,
offered
TCU, any of those Power
$30,000
Five
a year?
Yeah.
Genty, come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in.
he's going home. It's money. It's those are the kind of guys we need to worry about, and that hopefully the collective's doing something about. But I don't know. You don't hear much about it. I don't know if Talon has a couple things. He's got the F-150. He's got some lean feast. He's got the pizza place. He's got some little nominal things here. I don't know if Genty has anything. I hope that Holani has nothing. You know what I mean? I guess.
Kalani's tough because, you know, he could be out next
Yeah.
game. That's a
But
tough one.
Genty is someone I hope that collective is looking at, because
There was a time where I tried to get our group together to like put money in towards offensive line. Yeah.
hey, they
Why
look
are
good.
you laughing at that,
They
by the
look
way?
good. No, I remember. I
in what
remember
way?
those.
Just give it to the offensive
Yeah,
line, or
and just say we're going to give the starting 5 offensive linemen like it was like 10 or 15,000 a year.
But
you'd have to have a consistent starting line to
But-
give that to.
No, that's what we
There's
were
like
talking about. We're like,
12
if you
different
started, that's who
guys.
you got.
Though. Okay.
That's what you got, and that's what we were trying. We were kind of kicking around that idea and going to them and say, hey, look, we're gonna, you know, at least do something like some business owners in town.
So for that example, is that what is that used for? Is that used to keep those guys, or to like for recruits to say, oh, the starting
Yeah,
offensive?
both,
Oh, okay.
both. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Like at least it gives you some. Like, hey, these guys are offering me some money over there. Well, hey,
Yeah.
we got. If you're a starting offensive lineman, you get $15,000 a year,
yeah, there's places that are doing that.
$1,000 a month. That helps you at
there's-
all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Predictions, score.
Ooh, I didn't think about this.
Yeah.
Anyone ready?
It's not going to be a low scoring game. If we win, we have to score in the 30s.
Oh yeah.
I'll go 42-35.
Ooh, we win.
Sure. Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. You need to take your shirt off because Washington beat us. Okay. You don't have it. Okay. We can talk about
I'm
this
gonna
off air. I'm just saying.
go. Man, I'm gonna go. Sometimes you think something's gonna be high scoring, and then it's like 17-14.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna be it. I think I'm gonna go 37-34 Boise. 37.
So win by field goal.
Yeah.
Also, wait. Well, I'm going to ask a question after you give your score prediction.
I think we're gonna lose.
Okay.
And I probably predicted otherwise in previous episodes.
It's okay.
Are we going to lose? How many?
Change.
What's the
as we
spread?
go.
What's the spread?
UCF by 2.
By 2.
All right. So do we lose? We have to lose by more than the spread. I mean, it's almost impossible to lose by less than that spread.
37-21.
So if it goes 37-21, ouch.
I hope I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be right.
21. Man,
What was
you
your
gotta go
question?
score.
This is the...
We have a pretty good kicker. He's gained a lot of weight. Can we say
My
that?
former neighbor, Jonah Dalmas.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He looks
Is
more
that
like a punter.
Yeah,
than a kicker.
like I don't know what's going on. I think maybe he tried to gain weight to like get more
No,
leg
that's-
distance.
no.
But then
It's just belly.
I've been there trying to gain weight and it goes in the wrong spot.
He's a young man, though. He's in the early 20s.
I think he just got married.
I
recently.
could do it. I could do it.
I
I
may
don't
be
know.
wrong, but
I
that has an effect on your eating.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
He's a great kicker.
He missed that extra point. He's gonna win us
Didn't
a
matter.
game this year.
Yeah,
He's
didn't
gonna win
matter.
us a game.
He-
No, Dalmas is
Dude,
awesome.
he sold the running into the kicker penalty.
Yeah, he
Oh
did. That was
yeah,
good.
no,
And
that
then
was nice.
he,
And he made it.
He made
He
it.
made
Yeah,
it
he's a
next
good
one.
kicker. He'll be fine. Bigger.
I like the belly.
Bigger's better. Wait, is bigger better or better better? Isn't that what Hawkins always said?
Yeah, he's like,
bigger's not better.
better is better.
Better's better.
Yeah. Size matters not.
Hawkins still at
UC Davis.
UC Davis? Yeah,
he's
Cody's
got to
at
be in
Idaho
the
State.
60s.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Yeah.
Cody's at Idaho State.
He's the head
Yeah,
coach
he's
of
head
Idaho
coach.
State.
Is he
man.
really?
Yeah.
They put up
They
some
almost
good
beat
numbers.
San Diego State.
Wow.
Yeah.
They lost by 6 at San Diego
He's our
State.
new guy, dude. Cody's our new guy at
Dude.
BSU.
Dude. Probably a few more years.
That's fine.
Potential
Bring him
down
in.
the road.
Start working that. I don't know. Do you do Hamden? I don't know. We can talk about replacements later.
Yeah, next week we'll probably have that conversation if we go
If
down
we
in the
lose, we're
loss.
going down the
We're-
list of
yeah.
replacements.
Yep.